kicker on to kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Ready? Flag! I got one.
Now a first carry for Lamar Miller. Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make second down pretty tough.
Ready? Blue ready. Check 55, Mike. Here it comes,
On second and 15 now. Winston. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down. Charles, already trailing by a touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
They'll get 11, but it'll still lead to a fourth down. An ideal start defensively. They already have the touchdown. Now they get the stop.
Just like they drew it up on the chalkboard. Does that sound dated? Right? Am I out of touch a little bit?
It's all right.
All right, grease board, heck, computer, exactly what you want, though. Score on your first drive, stop them on the first drive defensively.
So not just running into the punter, but roughing the punter.
And I'm struggling with this one. You know, you're watching it, partner. Is it more the first rather than the latter? This is a tough one. Almost feels like he felt like he had to call it on that play.
So a big break. The roughing the kicker called on fourth down leads to 1st and 10. From the shotgun, it's Winston. And the catch made. This is Emmanuel Sanders. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Jameis to throw it. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. A 14-yard gain for Indianapolis and also moved the sticks.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Pass complete here to Sanders. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up
second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Again, it's Winston. It's caught by Sanders. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Indianapolis. Emmanuel Sanders with touchdown number 7 on the year. As his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders. That
guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. Back to Mixon on 1st down. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. And Edelman finally works his way open. It's complete. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another 1st down at the Colts 18.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Inside the red zone here. They'll look to throw. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line. Leonard Williams able to record his 5th sack of the season.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
Check 59. Mike is 59.
2nd and 14. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown. Evan Ingram, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now, but the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, get the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Brings up 3rd and 3.
Ready? Blue lady. I got you. I got you. Let's go.
3rd and short yardage. Winston. Got a man. He finds Sanders. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
1st down. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
And they'll run it from the gun with Miller. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Let's go, defense. Let's go.
From the gun, Winston. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7 at the 34-yard line.
They'll break the huddle and come out with 4 receivers, 3 of them to the right side, 2nd and 7. Throwing, Winston. Throws right side, and that's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 16 yards to pick up there. The Colts have a 1st down. Winston, the offense, with a 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. From the red zone now, Winston. This is caught. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
They'll try to punch it in with Miller. And he's going to get this back to the 3-yard line and no further. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
On 2nd and goal, Winston. And he's got his target. It's caught for a Colts touchdown. From 3 yards out, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening. But they found the opening and exploited it.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Go! Let's go!
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Now, right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They're going to look to throw. Going to look deep for Jeffrey. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you're going to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. They'll set up a throw. And that will be incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. This is brought in at the 21. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Excellent field position after the face mask penalty. 1st and 10 out near midfield. Working out of the gun, Winston. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. 23 yards, the final tally.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
Winston. This is caught. Touchdown, Indianapolis. 3 touchdown passes now in the ball game for Jameis Winston as his guys are able to regain the lead.
How about that touchdown, partner? If you blinked, you probably missed it. I looked away for just a second, and they were in the end zone.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and the lead is now 21-14. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's Luke Kuechly with a sack. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
Check. Chopper. Delta. Ready.
He'll drop to throw. Forced out to his left. Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. 3rd down. Pretty lucky to get the football back. Had his target out there waving the arms, saying I'm open, but maybe didn't see him quick enough.
And I know the jokes are always about defensive backs' hands. What really actually happens, you don't get many opportunities. You get over anxious, and you start to think about taking it away and going the other way instead of focusing and catching the ball.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
These two offenses have gone up and down the field so far in the first half. Finally, I say, here's a stop on 3rd down.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Good yardage there for the Colts. 18 and a 1st down.
As far as tight ends go, this guy's not a speed burner. He's much more of an inline blocking type of a tight end. But how about this last play? Made a nice catch and picked up a 1st down.
That's what impresses me about him. When he's called upon, usually gets it done. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. The first down throw for Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Kyle Van Noy make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. After the sack on first down, Winston, he'll take a shot for the end zone. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
SOS. Mark 55.
To throw is Winston. And he's going to go down. Back near midfield at the 49.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer, they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Inside of a minute left in the half. Does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Here we go, D. Hey, just ready. It's just me and hard. Me and you. Ready.
He'll look to throw. He sets to fire deep. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. Well, some credit there to A.J. Green because he's so tough to cover. Sometimes he causes those penalties.
And he's one of the more difficult guys to cover in the NFL because of his ability to do just about anything on a route. Hard to do. Creates a lot of pass interference calls.
Red. 18 David. Man, I got 61. Matchbox. Right. 54. Mike 54.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. Evan Ingram was the intended target, but it's going to be 2nd down.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Back to throw here. And this is caught. It's Edelman. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And the kick by Butker is good. So, yes, they'll still be down going into intermission, but the deficit is now made even smaller, very manageable.
Yeah, and if nothing haywire happens here in his last couple of precious seconds, they will go into the locker room with a nice bounce in their step, having gotten a little bit closer on the scoreboard.
The Colts take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
The Colts come to the line ready to start their next drive. Time for a final kneel down or a safe run, and then they can head to the locker room with a lead.
Yeah, or they can even run a screen. You know, something they feel is somewhat safe that might actually pop and turn into a big play. That's what you usually run in this situation.
Or go 4 verticals because why not?
Because you're feeling it, right? You're just feeling it.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Second half ready to get underway. The Colts with a lead, and they will receive the football.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Ready? Flag! 55! I got you! I got you, son! I got you! You're all mine! You're all mine!
First down, Winston. Well, that's complete to Sanders. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one for Indianapolis, resulting in 15 yards and a fresh set of downs. Winston now, pretty amazing. 14 of 16 throwing the ball. It's first and 10. They'll toss it to Miller. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it second and 4.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
It's on field. It's on field. Hey, it's all right.
From the 38, Winston. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. On first and 10, Winston. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. Tack McKinley made his way into the backfield. So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range.
Check three. Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Single receiver.
To throw, Winston. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Grady Jarrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here. After first and second down went backwards, it's third and very long. Now Winston. It's caught by Aguilar. The 20. An incredible play there. They do get big yardage, but they're still stopped a yard or two short, and it's fourth down.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player, but he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
A 31-yard attempt.
Sanders' kick is good, and that'll make this a 7-point game. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the third quarter. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Steps away to his left. Being chased out left. Gonna look deep. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. That's good for 28 yards. They've really been able to contain Alshon Jeffrey. That catch a rare exception in this game.
And that's a feather in their cap because he's such a tone setter for his team on offense that they try and get him the ball early. And, of course, what comes after that is often. And for them to limit him and him not catch a ball until the second half, it's a big reason why his team is behind on the scoreboard.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
At the 48-yard line.
Here we go, here we go. 60 orange. Wrap. Check 30, slow.
Second and 11. Buying time to his left. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down.
54. Check. 54. Ready, go.
They'll look to throw. And Ingram hauls it in. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. The 21 yards there as they convert on third.
First down, Vikings.
Let's go now. You're out. 90. Pull. Here we go. Move. Let's go.
They'll look to throw here. Dancing to his left. Letting one go deep. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Julian Edelman, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. He put quite a bit of air underneath that touchdown pass. Of course, we knew that he had the strong arm.
That part was easy. You could see that throughout his college career. But what you want to know about a rookie is when the pressure's on, can you throw with touch? He just did right there. And, boy, it was pretty.
Butker now to add the extra point. And, oh, he missed it. No good. And they'll remain down by a point.
Keeps the score. Colts 24. Vikings 23. Harrison Butker set to kick off.
Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he spins through. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Winston now to throw on first down. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Jameis to throw it. And Sanders has got it complete. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. And certainly a valuable tool to have in your kit, Emmanuel Sanders, and he showed us quite a bit in this one.
And that's why they wanted to use him immediately. You know they come out of the locker room saying, let's get the ball to him, get our offense jump-started, and in this case, it's worked throughout the game. Thus, they have the lead.
A gain of 4 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Play fake. Winston. It's caught by Sanders. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 43. This quarterback now over 300 yards down for the game, and time to improve on that as he's got a 1st and 10. Draw play. This is Miller. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Again, it's Miller. He'll get only a couple down to the 44.
They don't want. Keep playing hard, fellas.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters. And that'll do it for the end of the 2nd quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. On 3rd down, Winston. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Just a 25-yard punt, not what he was hoping for by any stretch. And the Vikings will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4. Get the ball. Get in the weight room. Ready.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. Forced out to his left. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down.
Trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Come on, 64, weak. Under 10, under 10. Oh.
2nd and 10. He's got a man complete. It's Julian Edelman. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 9. Back to throw. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And they work this well upfield across the 45.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. Mixon with a first down carry. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
Motion. Nice 7. Let's go. Check. 59.
2nd and 9 now. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Brian Burns able to record his 5th sack of the season.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
The Vikings on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Now back to throw. Slant route caught by Edelman. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a gain of 16, and the Vikings have the first down as well.
And the Vikings first down.
This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43.
Mike 50. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
They're going to look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Brings up 2nd and 11 at the Vikings' 48-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Check 15.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. He's got Burton here. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
On 3rd down, Miller. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Boy, tight game like this, 4th quarter, personal foul penalties, a no-no.
Yeah, we know the emotions are running high. The tensions are the same. Who can control them best could ultimately win it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Play action now, Winston. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Sua Cravens with a pick. And he returns it here to his own 18-yard line. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Danielle Hunter has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. He'll look to throw. Finds his tight end Ingram. And he gets it to the 30 when it's all said and done. 23 yards the pickup there. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. He'll look to throw. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Right there, 54 Mike. Go, go, go. Joker, 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 Joker. General, West, exit.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Looking for Edelman, and he hits him. It's complete. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 17 yards, 1st down, Vikings.
17 yards. And the Vikings, 1st down.
Let's go now, let's go now, let's go now. 90, pull. Check 4, check 4. Check 37, check 37. Ready.
They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Brian Burns in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
Mike by 4. Let's go, tight end, let's go. Let go. 54 is Mike, 54 is Mike. Check, check, watch. What happened?
He'll look to throw. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And they'll get him to the ground. He has another 1st down at the Colts 23. That catch now puts him on the doorstep of 500. It's his 499th reception. This quarterback now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
I know they got a little yardage there, but I'm not sure their investment is right. They're still running the football, and I'm not sure there's enough time to continue to do that.
Back to throw. He's got Smith here. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Jonnu Smith with time running out. And the Vikings are going to retake the lead. The Vikings leave the offense on the field as they're going to line up and go for 2. They'll let Mixon try and run it in. And he is not going to make it. So they won't be able to move this lead up to a touchdown as it'll remain a 5-point ball game. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Indy offense at the line and set to go. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and making an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases.
Ready?
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
Brings up a 3rd down and 10 yards to go.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw. They've got his man complete. Now they do indeed get the timeout, so all is not lost. They'll have a chance for one final heave to the end zone.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard
Ready?
So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10.
Push him back. Not 55. Wait. Tackle. Watch that.
One last shot now for Winston. He's going to let it fly. And this is incomplete. So no miracles here on the final play. And this ball game is over. Well, Charles, a pretty exhilarating finish to the end of this ball game. At the end, the Hail Mary prayers, though, they went unanswered. Could have won it, but couldn't get it done.
Almost felt schoolyard or playground, didn't it? You remember when you called that play? Everybody just go long and try and find someone open. They gave it a shot, but unable to successfully complete it.
So for the Vikings, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for the Colts, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll try to rebound next week as they head to Heinz Field to take on the Steelers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.